Hello and welcome to the Audio Dad Chronicles. I'm Shale, and today we are going to continue our journey into the music of BTS. This time it will be with a live performance, the Tiny Desk Concert, home version. So we're dipping our toes back into the world that is live BTS, and it has been requested many times over that I check out the Tiny Desk performance. And this one is about 5 years old, and I do believe that puts us right square in the middle of the COVID period where it was difficult to perform live in front of a crowd at least, and that's probably what they're getting at with the home reference to this. And due to the length of this song, or track, or video anyways, being 14 minutes, I'm inclined to think that the term concert is probably more appropriate. I don't believe this is going to be a singular song, but we might be getting a couple. I have no idea what they are, so let's just jump right into it. Tiny Desk Home Concert BTS. Let's go. NPR Music, of course. That's what is over my head right now. One of those exact style mics.
Let's rock and roll. King Kong kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking on, jump up to the top, LeBron. Hey, ding dong, call me on my phone, nice day, and I get my ping pong. Hey, this day,
oh yeah.
Bass boom, I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey. Yeah, this beach chain like money. This call of love, I'm into that. I'm good to go. I'm diamond, you know I glow. Hey, so let's go. Cause I'm in the stars tonight. Yep. Hey. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Hey, it's shining through the city with a little fucking soul. Light it up like dynamite. Whoa. Hey, bring the fan, join.
Do a quick little pause here on this one. I think I caught the song was called Dynamite at the very beginning. First off, obviously, very clearly a live performance. Really appreciating the fact that behind them is a live band. I think that's amazing. Nothing against it all electronic based and, computer built programmed music to back a band, particularly of this nature that, it's not about the band. It's about the singing and the dancing and their performances and their personalities and their characters. Speaking of characters, every one of them looks sharp. Loving the looks, and they all very much have their own styles, hair and hair colors, and colored in ears to suit their personalities and their styles, but they're all very prominently colored, very much doing their own personas within themselves, but they still fit. They still look like they belong together. They're all very well dressed. Got the band behind them. So far, I have seen a Korg Kronos keyboard. I've seen a Fender Stratocaster. Haven't had a chance to identify the bass yet, but I'm going to be looking for that. Those little things are kind of the stuff that I like to look for, and I always believe in pointing out the band, acknowledging the gear when I can, even if just really, really quickly. But I always like to give a moment to the artists as a whole, and that can also include the backing band when they exist. So really dig this so far. Let's just let this rip for a little bit more and get more into Dynamite. Fodera bass. Oh, got bucks? I don't. Like, that bass is worth more than my entire collection. And then we got a live drummer. I was waiting to see him.
Yeah, this picture change like money. I'm alone, I'm into that. I'm good to go, I'm diamond. You know I glow. Hey, let's go. Hey. Cause I'm in the stars tonight. Okay. So watch me bring the
I think it might be diamond, not dynamite. Dynamite.
Hey. Shining through the city with a little.
Gotta correct myself before being corrected.
Like dynamite.
No, it could have been dynamite too. My bad, I was talking over the title.
Life is dynamite. Life is dynamite. Shining through the city with a little fucking soul. Light it up like dynamite. Whoa. Na 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 na.
I see this being a good crowd participation moment. It's like they're in a record store, or at least set up to look like it. Quick little moment just to appreciate their set. Not sure if this is I acknowledge I haven't watched many, if any, of the Tiny Desk concerts, but I'm definitely familiar with them. So I don't know if this is the usual place or if this was built specifically for them. Therefore, I don't know if the set in front of us was intentionally laid out or not. It does look to me, though, that there is some level of alphabetized action going on in this particular shot. So I'm inclined to think that this is probably more of a record store, that kind of a fixed set, but they may have cherry-picked the artists, but it does look, like I said, it's alphabetical, and not going to go through it too much, but Kamasi Washington, unfamiliar. Maxwell, R&B soul legend for sure. Marvin Gaye, I mean, come on, who doesn't know who that is? And intentional or otherwise, I just couldn't help appreciate the fact that Michael Bublé made it into this shot. He's a crooner. He is one of the names that when he comes up at Christmas time, you moan and you groan. He's not quite the Mariah Carey, but he's almost there. He's a local to me. I won't get into my day job these days too much, other than just to say that I work in the marine industry, and I've had the pleasure of working on and repairing electronics that, like I say, I'm a technician by trade. That is my background. And I've worked on Michael Bublé's boat. I'm not going to name drop it. I'm not going to get too much into that. I don't know how much information of that nature he would appreciate being made public. But yeah, there it is. I went from being a roadie and working for big musical names, and these days my technician career has continued, although it's shifted industries, and yet here I am finding myself still working for rock stars. Very, very, very funny parallel that. Anyways, let's let these fine young men sing.
Shining through the city with a little fucking soul. Light it up like dynamite. 1, 2, 3,
Nice key change. Look like they're all having a really good time. You can just tell the friendship between these guys.
Oh yeah. Hey.
Quick little pause there. I'm gonna adjust myself. Yeah, these guys look like they're all just, good friends. They're all in it together. I do remember seeing in the guide that one of the things that made them special was the fact that their individual pieces come together in something that becomes greater than the individual parts, and that all of them, despite the fact that they do solo work and they have solo successes, they still see themselves as a part of the band. They are a member of BTS. They want to be a group. They want to stay together. They are not using BTS as an opportunity to launch themselves into new and bigger terrains. NSYNC acting as a launching pad for Justin Timberlake, and then he forgets them and moves on, type of a thing. They are doing side projects, solo projects, just as a means of expanding their artistic creativities. But at the end of the day, they always want to come back to BTS, and I think that's really special. Okay. That's the first one down. I'm pretty sure at the end I determined the song is actually properly Dynamite. So where are we going from here?
Okay, here we are.
BTS! We just played our latest single, Dynamite.
Boom.
It's a disco pop
Boom.
track that we simply wanted to share a great energy to
Yeah, it's got great energy.
everyone
It's
around the
fun.
world.
Yeah, it's the first time we are performing Dynamite with a live band.
Wow. And the band killed it.
To our awesome band who's here with us today.
Also, we loved watching Tiny Desk performances, and we are very, very, very honored and excited. Yeah!
That's right. We hope everyone could also enjoy our tiny but not so tiny concert. So up next, our next song is called Save Me.
Yeah.
Same me.
Hope you enjoy it.
Here we go. Let's go.
Quick little stop before we get into Save Me. And now that we have a good shot pan back again, I think this actually is very probably an actual record store, not just a set per se, but if maybe it is and they just did a really good job of capturing that vibe. But certainly back in my roadie days, I've done a few of these, many of these. At the early starts of my roadie career, for myself, I'm in early 50s now, but putting myself in the age 18 through mid 20s, I'll just say, for simplicity's sake, trying to get my roadie career off the ground, I would get a job and I would go on the road and I'd be gone for a few weeks to a few months, depending. And then I would come back and I wouldn't have, certainly at the beginning stages when I didn't have very many clients, I would have some downtime where I'm like, now what? When I'm trying to find the next gig, the next job, the number one thing that was always a good fallback for me with my massive history and love of music and understanding of so many different styles and knowledgeable about so many different artists and general enthusiasm, as well as the fact that I was roadieing it and that just, carries cachet. It's got a cool factor to it for people in a record store. Working in record stores was often my go-to. I have worked in many HMVs, Virgin Mega stores, local music shops that are no longer around, Future Shop, Best Buy, A&B Sound. That was one in the British Columbia where I'm from, those regions. And so as an employee of the record store, having to move things out of the way to make room for a band who is doing an appearance in the store, then to flip it right around, I'm working for the band. Last night we played a concert at their local club or venue or whatever it was, and then the next morning we're in an HMV doing an in-store and showing up at the very store where just a month ago I was working in, and it's like, hey all, it's me. Yeah. Well, here I am as a guitar tech. You all knew I quit to go do this. Well, here I am doing it, and yep, that's my famous boss that I mentioned. It's all real. And then doing that show and then going back on the road again, and then a month later, can I have my job back? I don't got work for a month. I'll be quitting in a month though. But they were always really understanding, and it was a really conducive environment. I might need to move around between a few different stores, but in general, it was a very supportive thing. And the music stores and the record stores loved having me, even if I was only effectively a temp. But anyways, enough about that. Sugar's talking, and let's let him sing too.
Oh, please save me.
Are you ready?
Hey,
Army,
hey,
can you hear me?
Calling out to the army, that's nice.
let's go.
Nice personal touch.
싶어 이 밤이 싫어 이젠 깨고 싶어 꿈속이 싫어 내 안에 갇혀서 난 죽어있어 Don't wanna be lonely Just wanna be yours
왜 이리 깔끔한 건지 네가 없는 이곳은 위험하잖아 망가진 내 모습 구해줘 날난또 날 잡을 수
Much deeper song. Getting personal.
내 심장 소리를 들어봐 제멋대로 널 부르잖아 희감한 어둠 속에서 너는 이렇게 빛나니까 그 손을 내밀어줘 say I need your love before I fall
그 손을 내밀어줘 Say me, say me I need your love before I fall
그 손을 내밀어줘 say me, say me
그 손을 내밀어줘 Say me, say me
One, two, three, let's go!
Yeah. Feel that beat.
Say me, let's go. Yeah. Say me, say me. Sugar.
오늘 다르다르 배나 내 기억 속에 뱅카 날 삭혀버린 내 눈앞에 Play Sam and Tona Play Sam tonight Play Sam tonight 이 책이 어딘가 계속 나를 구원해줘 네가 나 알아줘
너란 구원이 내 삶의 봄의 아픔을 감싸줄 유일한 손길
The best of me Best of me
너밖에 없지 나 다시 웃을 수 있도록 더 높여줘 네 목소리 Fire
Let's get a quick little pause on that one. I'm sure this song is about a person or presumably a woman, but it doesn't matter either way. Just do the listen to my heartbeat and save me and I need you and all that. But just having talked a little bit about my roadie days and all that, certainly when I was younger, music was what saved me. And I think that's one of the things that draws so many people to become a member of the BTS army is they feel that similar connection to their music and to the lyrics. And I look forward to experiencing more and more of their more personal, deeper lyrics like this. So this is a great introduction into more of this side of their world. But I know certainly early on, so many phases and moments in my life were defined by the music I listened to, the bands that saved me, that they gave me a way or a reason to pull myself out of that rut. Music that you listen to that connects with you at such a deep level that even if the lyrics themselves aren't necessarily about the struggle you're facing, just the moods and the vibes and everything that they're singing about and the way that it makes you feel really elevates you and pull you out of those funks, pull you out of those dark places and help save you. They become your heartbeat. They become that person or that thing that's listening to your heartbeat. So even if this is probably about a person, whether they're real or not, I still can definitely appreciate the sentiment in general as it connects to music overall. So wonderful. I love this. Let's just back up a little touch and let it run.
너란 구원이 내 삶의 봄의 아픔을 감싸줄 유일한 손길
The best of me Best of me
너밖에 없지 나 다시 웃을 수 있도록 더 높여줘 네 목소리 Fire 내 심장 소리를 들어봐 제멋대로 널 부르잖아
이 까만 어둠 속에서
Ooh, that's nice. High, clean.
그 손을 내밀어줘 say
Definitely appreciating the separation. I'm hearing more in this than I did in Black Swan, my first ever listen of their music. The live aspect, the different ranges of their voice, the different timbres of their voice. You can really appreciate every individual so much in this intimate setting. It's dynamite.
Okay RM Let's go
고마워 내가 나에게 해줬어 내가 나에게 해줬어 이런 내게 나에게 해줬어 꼭 이토록 나에게 해줬어 답답하던 나에게 해줬어 꿈속에만 살던 날 깨워줬어 널 생각하면 나에게 해줬어 슬픔 따위 나게 해줬어
Thank you 우리가 돼줬어
Thank you
그 손을 내밀어줘 save me save me I need to love you for
그 손을 내밀어줘 save me save me I need your love you for
Thank you.
Wonderful. Love that song.
저희가 또 세이미를 이렇게 오랜만에 부르게 되었네요.
진짜 오랜만이네. 네네.
네,
감사합니다.
특히나 이게 또 밴드 편곡을 해서 하니까 또 느낌이 또 색다른 것 같아요. 어땠어요?
어우 너무 색다르네요. 네.
신선합니다
또 오랜만에 해서 또
좋네.
너무 신나게 했고.
그러니까요. 옛날에 이제 밴드 형님들이랑 같이 콘서트 다닐 때가 생각이 납니다.
새록새록하네요.
재밌었는데 근데
춤을 안 추니까
진짜
답답하다.
재밌었어.
네네 그러니까요.
다음에 또 퍼포먼스를 함께 또 보여드릴 기회가 있으면 좋겠네요
예.
오케이
Knowing that this came during COVID times, that was a very poignant statement. I hope we can get back to singing this to you live one day. I'm sure most all of you were, it was only a few years ago as of the time of this filming, so I know you all were around, just going through the different struggles of adapting to life where we were just forced to be so closed. Myself, at that particular time, I was already out of the live touring world and working in a day job, like I mentioned, working in the marine industry. And in that particular phase during called the heat of COVID, the major lockdowns where just nobody was going in public and whatnot, I was still required to do my job. And my job at the time would require a fair amount of travel within my region. I usually would have to drive between 1 to 3 hours each direction to go to the location of the marine equipment that I would have to service and repair. And it was all done as a necessity. I was considered an essential worker because the equipment that I was repairing was associated with farming, with with livestock, with the feeding of animals that feed us. So it was a requirement that I would go out and do my job. And so I was actually, when traveling on the roads, I was required, at least for a temporary time, to put a little card in my window of my service truck to say, I'm allowed to be on the road. I'm allowed to be out in public. I'm an essential worker. My work is directly tied to the production of our food. So very, very relatable, just to, different world for them, certainly. But when their world is getting out and performing live and elevating people and, being so important to the psyches and the happiness and the joy and the money of, venues and selling food and whatever else and tickets and, merch and so on. So many people are connected to their larger circle and their influence in their world. They want to get out and perform. It's core to who they are as people, the people in their outer circle, their bands, their technicians, their sound people, their lighting and all that. So much of the industry, so much of the world was affected by it. So it's just really interesting to see and hear different people from different walks of life and different careers and different industries have those candid moments where they talk about how it all affected them. All right, let's keep on going. And if I can peek ahead and read my subtitle, because it's on now, we are going to get into Spring Day next. Okay.
The next one is Spring Day, and I believe as such difficult time like now we all are
What did I just
waiting
say?
for the Spring Day to come. Let's go.
Let's go.
Interesting little 7 on that placard to their side, because of course there's 7 members.
But we know that spring will come. So let's go together. Let's go. 보고 싶다. 이렇게 말하니까 더 보고 싶다. 너의 사진을 보고 있어도
Like the guitar.
보고 싶다. 너무 약속한 시간 나는 우리가 밉다 이제 얼굴 한번 보는 것조차 힘들어진 우리가 여긴 온통
Very soft and intimate.
8월에도 겨울이 와 마음은
Band is great at setting their vibe for them.
홀로 남은 설국 열차 네 손 잡고 지구 반대편까지 가 겨울을 끝내고파 그리움들이 얼마나 눈처럼 내려 그 봄날이 올까
허공에 떠도는 잘긴 먼지처럼 작은 먼지처럼
날리는 눈이 나라면 조금 더 빨리 내게 닿을 수 있을 텐데 눈꽃이 떨어져요 더 조금씩 멀어져요 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 얼마나 기다려야 또 몇 밤을 더 세워야 널 보게 될까 널 보게 될까 만나게 될까 만나게 될까 정겨울 끝을 지나 다시 봄날이 올 때까지 꽃 피울 때까지 그곳에 좀 더 머물러줘 머물러줘
We miss you, me.
That's an unfortunate freeze frame. I'm just going to move for a quick second there. Would never want to paint them in such a negative light to pause it, just the awkward wrong moment like that. That's a very interesting parallel that this particular song, Save Me, and being about winter and so on. I very clearly remember during COVID times, quite very probably right around the time that this would have been filmed, when I mentioned that, I was an essential worker and I had to travel far from home, traveling, well, 3 hours on average each direction, and then getting on a boat for an hour or two sometimes. And performing my duties to repair equipment in the name of food production, of keeping people employed, of producing food that would feed our locals, our nation, and other people in other parts of the world, that all this food would be shipped around to ensure that people can eat, that people can work, that people can continue to provide for their families and feed themselves and all that, while we were in this very much lockdown world. Especially during COVID times, where there was just less people on staff and you were told to stay away from them. Everybody's masked up, and well, it gets cold in the winter in Canada, I assure you. And whenever I was traveling, and I mentioned the 3 hour drives, it was north, and north, of course, gets colder. So it was a very isolated. You're by yourself in a truck. You're driving for 3 hours. You're getting on a boat with one other person. You don't talk to them. You face away from them. You're at a work site. You do your work by yourself. You're very isolated. It's the middle of a Canadian winter. You're outside on the water. Your hands are freezing. Your gloves are wet. You're cold. You're alone. You've got nothing with you except music. Music saved me so many times. It broke the silence. It broke the monotony. It allowed me to focus. Having music in my ears in these cold, isolated, closed off worlds. And then knowing that at the end of the day, all I wanted to do was get out of there. I just wanted to go home. I wanted to go home to my family. I miss them. It was hard. Long hours. I worked on average 70 to 80 hours a week at that job, and I did that for many, many years, and it was very, very hard on me. It was a challenge for my family to have me away. The whole reason why I moved away from the touring life as a roadie was because I was away from my family for too much. I was on the road too often, and I was missing all the special moments of my kids growing up. And here I am right back into a different but similar environment, and it was just very isolating. And the world that we lived in during the COVID times with this isolation only made it that much worse. And so, yeah, this song, it speaks to me. I definitely can feel the vibes that this would offer, particularly knowing when they did this. And maybe the song wasn't about such things, but the lyrics definitely do kind of tie it all together. So, wow, this hits in the feels, no doubt about that. Never expected to go through this many emotional journeys with K-pop artists, but y'all are right. They hit you in all kinds of places.
말로는 지운다 해도 사실 난 아직 널 보내지 못하는데
눈꽃이 떨어져요 또 조금씩 멀어져요 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 얼마나 기다려야 또 몇 밤을 더 세워야 널 보게 될까 널 보게 될까 만나게 될까 만나게 될까 You know it all You're my best friend 하지만 다시 올 거야 어떤 어둠도 어떤 계절도 영원할 순 없으니까
꽃이 피나봐요 이 겨울도 끝이 나요 보고 싶다
Quick little pause there. I know we're probably getting to the end of their concert. I don't know if I'll be able to conveniently find any of the photos to bring up and throw a quick little montage on screen, but if I do, here they are. If I don't, well, I see them in my own head, and as I touched on the song, bear with me, definitely touches on emotions for me, having lived through COVID principally, but just the work in industry in general, where, like I say, I was very removed in a remote location by myself. No one around me, working through the cold winters in Canada. That's a statement, I assure you. If you haven't spent any winter in the -40 type temperatures and things like that, I have, and it can be really tough. And working in that industry outdoors on the water, I witnessed some things that I've never even realized were a thing. You know, when snow falls, it collects on the ground, but it doesn't collect on water. And it especially doesn't collect on salt water. Well, when it's snowing hard enough and it's cold enough, I have absolutely seen a good half-inch of snow building up on the surface of the ocean. I'll see if I can find some photos. I know I see them in my head. I know I've taken them in the past, but it might be difficult to find on notice. But yeah, looking out the window of a boat or of the work facilities out over the bay of an ocean, and seeing snow built over the ocean and the snow rippling in the waves, it just, you're alone. Like, it just really drove home. You are in the middle of nowhere. There is nobody around save one or two other people, and you're not allowed to speak to them. You're not allowed to physically get near them. You have to take turns using the kitchen to eat, and you've got to wash it down. Like, just, we all went through this challenge that was COVID, and it all affected us differently. But for myself, and boy, does this song hit home for me. That isolation, that winter, that snow, and then that saved me. You know, the spring day is coming. I'm coming home. And coming home to my wife, coming home to my kids. That was all I lived for. That was, you know, I'd be in the field for one day. I'd be in the field for 21 days. It changed. You know, I was gone for up to a month several times, and again, just working alone, living away from my family. Even though I swore to myself that I wouldn't put myself or them through this again. But you know, you got to pay the bills. You got to feed the family. And in my case, at that particular time of my career, you got other people to feed too. Hundreds and thousands of people require on you to make that sacrifice, to go to these remote locations, to repair the equipment that allows food to be produced. And that was my slice. That was one of my COVID experiences. And so, wow, thanks a lot, BTS, for making me feel the feels and putting me back in that place, because this song is exactly where that's exactly where it puts me in this time with COVID in the winter, looking ahead to the spring, because it means less travel. It means maybe we'll be released from this. You know, they'll figure out the cures for it. They'll figure out the vaccinations. They'll figure out what it is that causes it and how to mitigate the problem to allow the world to return to normal. And I feel we're pretty much back there again. But wow, this really sold it for me. So y'all said that you know, being a 50-something metalhead, you're gonna find things in this K-pop group that you never thought you'd find in music and genres and styles. And here we are getting a little bit of disco, a little bit of jazz and pop and all this. And the lyrics there, they are really selling things on a deeper level than the Ooh Baby Babies, which is exactly what I wanted. So mad props. BTS is definitely winning me over. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As I
Thank
suspected,
you.
the song is probably right about over.
And thank you for joining us, everyone. Thanks for having us, Tiny Desk concert.
Thank you, our dear army, as always. Miss you all, and here we were,
BTS.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, although you can't see it behind that particular image, I'm pretty sure this is part of the NPR Tiny Desk logos to begin with, but that particular mic style, it's what's right there. It's over my head. Just kind of funny that of all the things, that's what I use and that's where it is. But as I said at the end there, thank you all. That was something. That was a really great experience, and I'm really glad that I took that journey. And I know there will be other journeys down the BTS rabbit hole. Thanks to the Army for sticking with me, for guiding me down the right paths. Pardon me. And for showing me what I need to see and what I need to hear, because clearly it is what I needed to see and what I needed to hear. Thanks a lot for coming along on the ride on this one, and I hope to see you again.